Vrindavanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Everyone chant Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Everyone chant Krishna's names Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Everyone again. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Everyone sing. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Everyone again, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Everyone again, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Jayam Vishnu Pad Piraman Sapri Bajaka Shah Jostatara Satasi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Stena Sura Po Mitra Drug Brahmaha Guru Taupaga Stri Vraja Pitra Gohanta Ye Chapata Kino Apare Mitra Dhruv Sena Surapo Mitra Dhruv Any Matajis like to chant? Stena, one who steals. Surapa, a drunkard. Mitra Druk, one who turns against a friend or relative. Because at this point of the Bhagavatam, as you all know, there is a discussion going on between the Vishnudutas and the Yamadutas. And who is listening? Of course, we are listening, but who is listening to this? Ajamil. And his life is at stake, meaning that this is so important to him because the Yamadutas were making the attempt to rip his soul from his body because of all the sinful activities he committed. And they were terrible activities. And the Vishnudutas stopped them. The Yamadutas then asked, why are you stopping us? This person, this Ajamil, has committed so many sinful activities, horrible things. He has drunk alcohol. He has stolen. He has burned people's houses. He has killed. He has eaten improper grains, food grains. He has done every sin practically imaginable. And we wish to take him to Yamaraj so he can be properly punished. And by virtue, because of this punishment, he will be purified. He has committed so many sins. He needs this purification, so he will learn and never commit these activities again. He is a sinner, and we must punish him for his own good. And the Vishnudutas, as we have heard, said this is a very terrible thing that is going on right here. Because if those who are supposed to be the servant of religion itself, himself, Yamaraj, if those who are supposed to be serving religious principles do not understand religious principles at all, then what is the fate of the world? You are saying that Ajamil is sinful, but in fact he is sinless. But how is that possible? He's committed so many terrible activities. And then in the last verse, the verse of yesterday, the Vishnudutas explained that he may have committed so many sinful activities, but by the sound vibration that he has uttered, that he has said, Narayana, the name of Lord Narayan, that has completely taken away all the reactions. This is the greatest kind of atonement here, prayaschitta. He is no longer to be considered sinful at all. And then this verse follows, the one we're hearing right now. And the Yamadutas, the Vishnudutas are explaining that rather than Ajamil having to atone for all the sins he has committed, what is atonement? Prayaschitta. What is prayaschitta? It means something that one does to remove the reactions for the improper activities, the adharmic activities that one has committed. So now, in this verse, there is a list of so many terrible activities, abominable activities. But the next verse that follows, number 10, is where the sweetness actually comes. So please listen. So, Stena, one who steals, we read this. Surapata, a drunkard, saying that this is the best atonement for these type of activities. Mitra Druk, one who turns against a friend or relative. Now it even gets heavier. Brahmaha, one who kills his teacher or guru. Stri, women. Raja, king. Pitra, father. Go, cows. Hunter, the killer of these, the killers. Yea, those who. Cha, also. Patikinaha, committed sinful activities. And the final word in this verse is apare, which means and many other activities. Many other sinful activities. Now the next verse, please listen carefully, because it's not written on the board. Still, if you can memorize this verse, oh, very wonderful. Sarvesham api agatvam. Of all sinful activities, all of them, meaning all sinful activities, api, although, agavatam, persons who have committed many sins. So taking those sinful activities that he has mentioned, plus savesham api agatvam, plus all other sinful activities, that are not even mentioned. Idam, this. Eva, what does Eva mean? Yes, I'm hearing everyone say it. It's certainly. So, of these sinful activities and the accumulation or the sum total of all other sinful activities, this certainly, idam eva sunishkritam. This is the perfect atonement. Now, what is this? This that is the perfect atonement. Nama vyaharanam Vishnu. The perfect atonement, sunishkritam, is nama vyaharanam Vishnu. It is chanting the holy names of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Yata. Now, why is this the perfect atonement? Yata means because of what's going to be described right now in the final line of the verse. It is the perfect atonement because of one very special thing. So, yata tad vishaya mati. Mati means one's intelligence or one's attention. And tad vishaya, vishaya means the object. So when one chants the holy name of Vishnu, the Lord, Vishnu or Krishna, his mati, his attention goes to that person. By chanting the holy name of Krishna, the Lord's attention goes to that person. Now, there are so many things I would like to say at this point about that, but let us just continue, and Krishna willing, we shall have some time to speak. Now, we will read Jai Jai Sikonatai, Jai Jai Krishna Balaram, Jai Jai Radha Shyamasundar Lalita Vishaka, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Now, if I want you to listen very carefully to the translation of this verse. And when you hear the end of the translation, please note that Srila Prabhupada, in translating this, has added something. Because the verse directly says, Sunishkritam, certainly, idam eva Sunishkritam, nama vyaharanam Vishnu. And why? Because tad vishaya mati, because the Lord's attention goes to this person. Now listen very carefully to Prabhupada's translation. And if you listen carefully and keep in mind the word by words that we just read, you will notice something very wonderful. And I would like to speak about that. Here's the translation. First, the first verse, text 9. The chanting of the holy name of Lord Vishnu is the best process for atonement for a thief of gold or other valuables, for a drunkard, for one who betrays a friend or relative, for one who kills a Brahmin, for one who indulges in sex with the wife of his guru or another superior. It is also the best method of atonement for one who murders women, the king or his father, for one who slaughters cows, and for all other sinful men. All the apurva, the pop, everything is removed. The reactions are moved. Now we're moving into text 10. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu, Nama Vyaharanam Vishnu, such sinful persons may attract the attention, Sunishkritam, of the Supreme Lord, who therefore considers, because this man has chanted my holy name, my duty is to give him protection. because this man, Ajamil in this case, has chanted my names, it is my duty to give him protection. Now, what is the difference between the Sanskrit and how Srila Prabhupada translated this verse? Raise your hand if you hear.
Because this man has chanted my name, it's my duty to give protection. It is not necessary.
It is, that part isn't there, because the man has chanted my holy name. It describes my attention, the Lord's attention goes to that person. So here, Srila Prabhupada has put something extra in, something extra and something wonderful. Now, where did Srila Prabhupada get this extra and wonderful point? That the Lord, He's revealing the mind of Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan, Lord Krishna. He's revealing the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because this person has chanted my holy name, it is my duty to give him protection. And keep in mind that Ajamil was calling out his son, who he had named Narayana, and he wasn't even directly calling out the Lord's name. But we understand that he had named his son after Narayana. So actually, before it was his son's name, it was the name of the Supreme Lord. So actually it is the name of the Supreme Lord. And that's how Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan heard it. He has called out my name. His attention, the Lord's, the Supreme Lord's attention. How do you say attention in Hindi? Mati, or how else? Dhyan. He meditates upon the person who is chanting his holy name. So where did Prabhupada get this extra point? And the answer is at the very end of this chapter, there is an explanation of this verse. This verse here doesn't have a purport by Srila Prabhupada, but this explanation that Prabhupada gives at the end, his purport on this verse is very, very long. He's basically summarized a very, very long commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And this is in the appendix. And Krishna willing, we will get to hear at least some of it. Because Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comment in this verse is like 10 pages. It is very, very long, describing the potency of the holy name. And where did Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur get this point of knowing the heart, the mind of Lord Vishnu, of Lord Narayan, of Lord Krishna, how he reacts to someone chanting his holy name? It is my duty to give him protection. And that, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he is quoting from the commentary of Srila Sridhar Swami. And it is wonderful. This man, Ajamil, he is called out to me, and therefore it is my duty to give him protection. Because one may wonder, how was it that Ajamil was dying and the Yamadutas had come and he had called his son, Narayan, 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 and suddenly the Vishnudutas appeared. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that as soon as the Lord heard him chanting his holy name, he personally sent the Vishnudutas to protect Ajamil, thinking that it is my duty to give him protection. So before we read some of Srila Prabhupada's commentary on the holy names that he has given, there is another point that I would like to make now that sort of jumps ahead to the final verse in this chapter. which I usually don't like to do because that is the service of someone else to speak on this. But in this case, it is so important in relationship to this verse that I cannot resist. So in the final verse of this chapter, which is, I think, text 49, the verse is, while suffering, please listen carefully, while suffering at the time of death, Ajamil chanted the holy name of the Lord. And although the chanting was directed towards his son, he nevertheless returned home. The result of his chanting was that he went home to the spiritual realm, back to Godhead. Therefore, if one faithfully and offenselessly chants the holy name of the Lord, where is the doubt that he will return to Godhead? Where is the doubt? So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes this point in his commentary, and he's gathering it from this final verse, and this is called Kamutya Nyaya, which means if this is so wonderful, if this result comes from him chanting with no love for Krishna, offenselessly, he's chanting Namabas, offenseless chanting, but with no love for Krishna, and he's even calling his son. And if this is the result, and if Krishna's heart, his mati, his consciousness, his chitta, his intelligence becomes attracted to Ajamil, and his mind goes to Ajamil, then what to speak of the result if someone chants with surrender, that, "Oh Lord, please accept me as your servant. I want nothing other than to serve you. Please accept me as your servant." How is the Lord going to react to that chanting? If someone's chanting in that mood, what if he's reacting like this to someone who's chanting with not even thinking about him practically? How is he going to react and deal with a person who is chanting in surrender? What to speak? What to speak of someone who's chanting with love for him? What to speak of someone's chanting with attraction for his holy name, attachment to him, and love? So herein, we should be applying, we should be reading deeply, and by the mercy of the Acharyas, and Srila Prabhupada makes the same point in his summary commentary, we should be reading deeply and trying to understand what Srila Sukadeva Goswami is telling Maharaj Parikshit, and what through the recitation of the Bhagavatam we are supposed to hear, and what we are supposed to learn. And we should be understanding why Srila Prabhupada put so much energy into translating this, and why he wanted this distributed. Because look at this this knowledge is so important. It is not like the knowledge of how to program a computer in C++ or work out some program in Fortran or something like that. This knowledge will save your life. Your life, my life, depends on this. And there's so much inspiration in this too, that, okay, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. And Krishna's attention is on me. My attention isn't on him. But he's waiting when will this person understand something? When will he understand that abhina tvam namanamano, that I am there, that I am hearing? I am conscious, even though the Lord is conscious, even though this very unfortunate soul is very unconscious of the wonderful thing that he's doing. So when we chant Krishna's holy names, and everyone does that, everyone, every day we take out our beads, we join the kirtan, we chant Krishna's holy names. So there are such instructions and such inspiration in this to chant with some consciousness, some awareness of the weight of what we are doing and the importance of what we are doing. Even to be aware how unfortunate I am. Unfortunate as I am, I have no attraction for Krishna in the form of the holy names. Even though Itadrasi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi, even though he's made himself so easily available in the holy names, I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for this. That consciousness brings us to the third verse that Mahaprabhu gave us. Trinadapi sunichena torodapi sihisnuna. I am so unfortunate. And my only fortune will come is if you, my dear Lord, bestow on me one drop of your mercy. Just one drop. Eka bindudiya. This is the way that the Vaishnavas pray. Just one drop of mercy. Otherwise, if you will examine me, you will find no good qualities at all. I am dependent on your mercy. So that type of chanting, that consciousness, even though we may not be conscious of Krishna, but we become conscious of our lack of consciousness of Krishna. And that itself has the potency to bring us so much further. And what does it take to be so conscious? As far as I understand, it takes great sincerity. Great sincerity that this is what I want. I want to be your servant. Okay, my mind has so many other foolish desires. It wants this silly thing, and it wants that silly thing, and it wants that. This is some unfortunate karma that I'm carrying, some samskaras, some impressions from this life and previous life. But actually, oh Lord, if you would accept me as your servant, as the servant of your servant, then that will be the greatest fortune of my life. And I chant to you, praying for that mercy. So it takes so much sincerity to line up, to have a whole consciousness. Nadanam najanam sundarim kavitam va jagadish kamani mama janamani janamani. I don't even want, because as one becomes a devotee, so many things of the material world will be thrown at us. Okay, you want this? Oh my Lord, I only want to serve you. And then Krishna thinks, okay, let's see. And so many things, so many items that are like phantasmagoria, a projection upon smoke. So many things, adyantavantakam, they have a beginning and an end that will not satisfy us. They will be given to us. What do we really want? Do we want to just, I see this, I'll pick up my japa beads, and the moment I pick them up, my mind will say, oh, here is a perfect opportunity to think about something other than the holy names of Krishna. I take out and begin to chant begin to chant mantras, Sandhya mantras. And the mind immediately says, what a perfect opportunity to visit so many places all over the universe where I haven't visited since the last time I said my mantras. So this shows, it's such an opportunity Krishna has given us for deep humility, for the deepest humility. So let us read some of Srila Prabhupada's, it's called a supplementary note to this chapter. Would you like to hear? Okay, let's see. Because soon as the reading begins, then let's see. And to make it easier, I will ask you what you heard after every short segment. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary to text 9 and 10 of this chapter. Okay, first question. What verses are we talking about? Very good. You are very attentive. Very good. They form a dialogue, a conversation concerning how one may become free from all sinful reactions simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. So what is this dialogue about? Okay, raise your hands though, because that makes it clearer. Okay. Continuing. Someone may say, it may be accepted that by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one becomes freed from the reactions of sinful life. However, if one commits sinful activities in full consciousness, not only once, but many, many times, he is unable to free himself from the reaction of such sins even after atoning for them for 12 years or more. So this is a doubt. Thinking about Ajamil. He didn't commit, he knew what he was doing. He killed, he burned, he stole, he cheated. Again and again and again. So by performing prayaschita or atonement for even how many years? 12 years. Everyone is listening so carefully. He couldn't remove all the sinful reactions. How is it possible then, by just once chanting the holy name of the Lord, one immediately becomes freed from the reactions of such sins? How is that possible? And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur replies by quoting verse 9 and 10 of this chapter. The chanting of the holy name of Lord Vishnu is the best process of atonement for a thief of gold or other valuables, for a drunkard, for one who betrays a friend or relative, for one who kills a brahmana, or for one who indulges in sex with the wife of his guru or another superior. It is also the best method of atonement for one who murders women, the king or his father, or slaughters cows, and for all other sinful men. This reminds us of the pastime in Mahaprabhu's Leela, Sriman Mahaprabhu's Leela, where Subudhi Roy had been made externally, superficially, into a Muslim for something that he had, some offense he had committed to Nawab Hussain Shah when Nawab Hussain Shah was just a boy. He was a slave, actually. A dasa, slave of, do you know that that's what dasa actually means? A slave. Not just a servant, but it would be very hard to accept that I'm a slave. A slave, a servant may have a choice, but I'm placing myself in the situation of a servant, a slave of the Lord's slaves, who've given themselves completely with no chance to take back their identity. So Subudhi Roy was a slave, Nawab Hussain Shah, and Subudhi Roy had beaten him. And in exchange for that, because of that, when he became the ruler of Gauda Desh, his wife said that you should make him into a Muslim if you don't want to kill him. So they poured some water on his head and said, now you're a Muslim. And then Subudhi Roy went to many learned people to understand what is the atonement for this. And he got so much advice of different varieties, just like if you go to 10 different doctors or 10 different astrologers, you will get 10 different opinions from each. So he got so many opinions. And finally, some said to drink hot ghee and end your life. And some said not so serious. But finally, when he went to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu told him what? Just go to Vrindavan and ceaselessly, unendingly, without stop, you chant Krishna's holy names. You just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Which is the same instruction he gave to Tapan Misra on the other side in Bangladesh, on how to find the ultimate goal of life, achieve that. Just chant Krishna's names. So this verse is in response to that doubt. How is it possible to remove so much sinful reactions as Ajamil committed? Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu, such sinful persons may attract the attention of the Supreme Lord, who therefore considers, because this man has chanted my holy name, my duty is to give him protection. So one may atone for sinful life and vanquish all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name, although this is not called atonement. It is not a way to remove sins. And if one chants sins and then chants to remove the reactions to those sins, and then sins again and chants to remove the reactions to those sins, that is namaparad. Namo balad yasya hi papa buddhi navidite yasya yamar hi shuddhi. Ordinary chanting the holy name, ordinary atonement may temporarily protect a sinful person, but it does not completely cleanse his heart of the deep-rooted desire to commit sinful acts. So this is really, if you remember the beginning of the first chapter of this canto, this was the doubt that Maharaj Prickett raised about how to remove from the heart the deepest desire. Therefore, atonement, prayaschita, is not as powerful as the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. In the Shastra, it is said that if a person only once chants the holy name and completely surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord immediately considers him his ward, meaning under his protection, and is always inclined to give him protection. This is confirmed by Srila Sridhar Swami. Srila Prabhupada says, and he's quoting the verse of the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Thus, when Ajamil was in great danger of being carried off by the order carriers of Yamaraj, the Lord immediately sent his personal order carriers to protect him. And because Ajamil was freed from all sinful reactions, the Vishnu Dutas spoke on his behalf. So there's much more in this commentary that Srila Prabhupada has added to the end of the second chapter. I would advise you all very strongly to read it again and again and again to understand Nam Tattva, to understand the power of the holy names of Krishna. Because after all, this is the Hare Krishna movement. And Prabhupada even said once in New Zealand, there was a newspaper article that criticized the Krishna consciousness movement and said bad things about the Hare Krishna movement. And Prabhupada was there. And when Prabhupada saw the article, he said, saying Hare Krishna is bad is good. Because look at the power of saying one Hare Krishna, one name of Krishna. See the power. And the devotees who go to different cities of the world in the West and they chant Krishna's names and they distribute these books, how dear these devotees are to Prabhupada, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to the Supreme Lord. They are taking risk to give people the greatest gift of Krishna's holy names in the Srimad Bhagavatam and Vrindavan. This is an invitation to give up a very shallow and hollow life, dreaming that happiness, abhiyaiga, is just coming somehow or another. If I can just do this and grab this and change that and move it around. Just dreaming that happiness is just soon to come on the material level. And it's saying, please, just chant Krishna's names and you have an open invitation to come home. Home is Vrindavan. Come home, back to Godhead. There is one poet, American poet, who said he defined home as the place when you go there, the door is always open. So Vrindavan, Sridham Mayapur, these are our homes. And Srila Prabhupada has brought us here to be home and to develop our love for our Divine Lord, who has such nice, wonderful, generous-hearted qualities. Okay, we'll end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivinoda ki jai.